James. You know when you're in a situation where you're starting to feel like you need to let go of this thing that you've been used to for so long, and you're just so used to it, and it's almost like that's all you know, and so for you to give that up seems like impossible. And then you start to realize that over time, it just creating a bunch of bad habits, and it's just kind of creating a cycle that doesn't really stop. But you're so used to it, and it's like really all you know. So it's like you don't know how you're supposed to let go of that, and then you just feel kind of stuck in a way. Usually when you're in that phase where you know it's something you should probably let go of, but you just don't know how, whether that's a person or a habit that you've been used to for so long. Usually we have enough like intuition. I like to think it comes from God that's speaking to us, that's telling us this is something that we should probably let go of. Because on the other side of that, if we were to let go of it, it's almost like there's a breakthrough. And that breakthrough will show us what we need to take off to the next level and whatever that is. It's almost like a video game if you think of it. And it's like when something's tying you down so much to the point where, it just starts to drain you, and you're not really having much clarity about who you are and about what you need to do and about how you need to move forward. But it's almost like, I can't really see another way. Like, for example, for me, like I had an ex-girlfriend where, we dated for 3 years, and I was just so used to that. I was so used to the things that we were doing. And then over time, just kind of started to add up. And I started to realize that a lot of the stuff that we were basing our relationship off of was not healthy for me at all. And it really started to drain me in a way. And I got to the point where I was like, I've been feeling like this for so long now, but I've just been putting it off because I don't really see another way. Like, this is all I really know. So for me to let go of this is like, it kind of seems impossible. And then over time, you start to realize that nothing's changed, right? That nothing's changed. And so the cycle just kind of keeps repeating. And then you get to a point where you're like, all right, I've been thinking like this for so long now, and I've just been putting it off because why should I think any different? And you start to think about what it would actually look like if you were to let go of it. And it's almost like freeing in a way. It's almost like you can see that version of you that's not tied down to something that's keeping you from keeping you from getting to where you want to be or being who you need to be. And you see that version of yourself on the other side, and it's like, I know what I need to do now, but I don't really know how I'm supposed to do that because, again, it's something I've been used to for so long. I'm sure like some of you have been in situations like this before. I've been in plenty of situations like this. But to see that other side, to go from thinking, I don't see another way, I don't see how I'm supposed to let go of this, and then you see the other side, and it almost trumps it. It's like, well, if I were to let go of it, the amount of freedom and the amount of growth that I could see happening, it's all there. And it can be a scary thought. It really can be a scary thought to let go of that, especially because that's all you know, and you've been used to it for so long. But to see that other side of it, I definitely think that it's 100% worth doing because it'll be such a weight lifted off your shoulder that you're not even really going to be worried about what's in the past anymore. You're really just going to be focused on, all right, I've done the deed, not necessarily a deed, but I've done the thing, what's next? And it's almost like God is kind of calling you to do this. And usually when you have that feeling, I definitely think it comes from God telling you that this is probably something that you should let go of. And when you're finally able to let go of that, He blesses you like unimaginably. And it's kind of crazy because it happens pretty quick. It really does, because especially when you know that it's not good for you, when you know it's holding you down so much to the point where it's like it's starting to drain you and your energy and your relationship with God, and you take that step, that leap of faith, because that's really what it is. It's a lot of times it can be just a leap of faith. And when you take that leap of faith, it's like He opens your eyes so much to possibilities of like who you could truly be and who he truly wants you to be. And it's such a beautiful thing to feel, to experience, and to see, because he blesses you very quickly. He blesses you like that, and your mind is just kind of open to, all right, what's next? Like, what's new, right? And it really is a blessing to be able to feel that, and to be able to like get out of that rut. I mean, how many people, just comply, and they're comfortable with that, whatever thing that is, that's, they're going in this cycle, and it's keeping them down. A lot of times it's relationships. I think that's one of the biggest things in life. Like, I had a friend who, he was telling me, it's like, it was getting to the point where they would just fight all the time, and it was draining him, mentally, physically. It's like, he knows it's an unhealthy thing for him, and he knows it's bringing him down. He feels tied down in a way, but it's almost like the things that were good about it would like offset all the bad. And so it'd almost be like they could get away with doing whatever. They could get away with fighting. She could get away with calling him out or arguing with him, and then the good things would just offset the bad, and then they just kept repeating. That cycle just kept repeating. I've dealt with a scenario like that too. And you should never, when it gets to a point where you just keep seeing it happening, that's whenever you really got to make a decision. That's when you got to make the decision, like, all right, something needs to change here, and it might require me just letting go of it. And there really is an art of just letting go. Like realizing that I don't need to keep trying to take control of this, especially if I know that it's not good for me. If it's not good for me, then I'm just going to let go of it, give it to God, let him handle it, right? Either he'll fix it, or he'll show me something about myself that I need, that I couldn't see chained to this scenario, And it's really a blessing to even be able to see that. It truly is. And so if you are seeing that, like, props to you for like recognizing that, like, because if not, you're just going to keep repeating that cycle, and it's going to drain you. I promise you it will. And you don't want to get to the point where it's too late, I mean, so many people live their life like that, where they accept it for what it is, knowing that they don't really enjoy it, that it's not really good for them, but they accept it because, it's like, well, what else is there, Is there really any other way? Because they don't know. They don't really see that other side of things. So props to you if you have. But they get too far down the road, and then it's like, all right, this is just how it is now. And it drains them so much, You see it everywhere, like, again, mainly in relationships, but even like a job, It's like, how long are you going to put up with this job that is so unfulfilling, and it's so draining for you? How long are you going to put up with that? Like, you've been thinking about, leaving for so long now, and here you are 5 years later, and you're just even worse than where you were, because you're just drained. But you're putting up with it because you think that's all there is, that's all you know. There's more to life than that, right? Life is literally about, you can make what you want out of this life. You really can. And it's a beautiful thing, like God has given us this body, this planet, to just experience life and to make it what we want out of it, And so why conform? Why conform to what you think you need to conform to? Why conform to what people tell you think you need to conform to? It's not worth it. It's usually never worth it, because usually the things that the earth, that the world is conforming to, it's probably not good for you. And it's probably going to put you down a direction of sin, number one. But it's just going to drain you. And that's the beauty of the gospel, of looking to God, seeking him for guidance rather than going off my own judgment, Because usually whenever you can have that intuition that tells you, to seek God and to seek guidance from him and wisdom from him, he'll guide you in the right direction always. But our flesh, our flesh is deceitful. Our desires are deceitful. And if we're strictly going off our own judgment, it's probably not going to lead to anything good. Even if we think we have such good intuition, a lot of that could be Satan tempting us with our thoughts, thinking that, oh, maybe that is okay. I see that very clearly as being okay. But in God's eyes, it's not what he wants you to do. But Satan is tempting you with these thoughts, telling you that, oh, you can do that. You can get away with that. You'll be fine. And then it's too late down the road. And then you look back and you realize, all right, well, the same thing's just been happening because I never let go. So maybe you just need to let go of whatever that thing is. You know, maybe you just need to look at it for what it really is. Stop trying to look at it. Stop trying to see all the hope in it, all the good in it, because you know that you can't let that outweigh the bad. But what if you try to see what it would look like if you truly did let go? How would that make you feel, you know? I think it would be a huge weight lift off the shoulder, as it has been for me in many different areas, when I've learned that, like, if this is something that I probably think I need to let go of, then I probably should, and I probably need to, even if I might not want to. And that's another thing. It's like, usually when you don't want to do something, you probably need to do that thing, whatever that is. And that's just life, I feel like, you know, a lot of the time. So that's really my message for you all. Don't be afraid to let go. You know, it's really freeing when you can learn to do that. And it might seem impossible in the moment. It might seem like the biggest decision of your life. It could be the biggest decision of your life. But you never really know until you take that leap of faith. You never really know until you do it. And that's the key right there. It's like, I will never really know unless I actually let go of that. So just ask yourself that, you know, what would that look like? I think it would be a blessing for you, for sure. That's probably why you're watching this video, because that's what you feel. You feel like there is something tying you down and you don't know what to do. I'm telling you, if you just learn to let go, you'll never really know until you do it. So that's my message I got for you all. Look at this beautiful morning. I mean, sun is shining. James is chilling. Man, he too locked in. But enjoy your morning. Enjoy the sunlight. God is good. Life is good. Thank y'all for watching this video. That's all I got. I'll see y'all in the next one.